Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel, Julia McNeil Crafts, and today we have another episode of Dawn and Julia Create, woohoo! So it was my turn to set the challenge, and I do feel a bit mean because when Dawn got her parcel she was like, what on earth? But I believe she's had some ideas since, so I'm sorry Dawn, I didn't mean to make it so difficult. I like to create sort of shadow boxes and 3D elements, but I'm not very good at structuring them myself, so I quite often just use a box lid. And so that's the idea I had in my head, but I couldn't find any box lids that were two the same. So I got these bits of packaging and I suggested that we make a shadow box out of this packaging. And then I pulled together these little embellishments, and I have some of these graphic 45 papers which I bought at the beginning of the year and have barely used. So Dawn and I both have this kit, and that is what we're allowed to do. We're also allowed to add black gesso and acrylic paint from our stash. So I'm going to put this aside and work out how I'm going to turn these into a little shadow box. So I think I am going to have to sort of pull these apart and re-put them back together in a way that will work. I'd imagine this might be a bit of a faffy process, so I'm just going to pop you on fast forward while I do that. Okay, so as you will have seen on the fast forward element, I decided just to do the gessoing as well. Now I'm going to pop some background paper in this. I'm just going to patch it in because it's just going to be the element of interest. It's not going to matter if it's overly straight or anything like that. So yeah, I'm just going to aim for the best because I'm not one that does measuring. So we will see how this leads, where this leads. Okay, so I'm hoping that I might just be able to tuck that in. Nope, I'm going to make that a bit smaller. Oops. Bit of gesso that is still, as you can see. I really don't do measuring, I really can't be bothered with it. Right, I'm just going to try and shove this in a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Because as I said, this, oh sorry, head in the shot, this is just going to be there's going to be lots more stuff going on, so the fact that it's imperfect isn't going to make any odds. And I've deliberately sort of kept all these extra tags and things on from the packaging just for an element of interest. So I've just popped that in, and I've used a bit of the Dina Wakley gel medium to stick that down a little bit. While I'm at it, I am just going to put some black gesso over this little frame, which I will then use later as an element to my shadow box. And now I've got to work out what I'm actually doing with it, which should be highly entertaining, because I put all of this together knowing a shadow box would be good, and that I really wanted to use this paper because it's been sitting in my stash for ages and I've not done anything with it yet. But as to regard of what I was actually going to create with this strange concoction of things is another matter. So I am just going to have a little look. I have got some elements on this one that I could cut out. So I think I'm going to try just fussy cutting those elephants there. So what I tend to do when I'm fussy cutting something is I will sort of roughly pull it out of the paper. Like so. And then when I cut, I use the back of my scissors and cut down, and I will be moving the paper and not my scissors, and I tend to find that gives a much smoother line when we are fussy cutting. So I'm just going to go around these little elephants. They are just gorgeous. I love the wackadoodle colours. Honestly, this collection is so up my street. I absolutely adore it, which was why I bought it last year. No, actually very early this year. So I definitely know I want these little guys to be a feature. So that's an element that we can cut out. I've also got these postcards. Right, I'm going to try cutting out these elephants again, because they might look quite good somewhere or other. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut round this little guy here, because we've got a straight edge there, and that will maybe make a bit of a border. So again, I am just moving my scissors, the paper, not the scissors. So, we've had some very exciting news here. Got a pitter patter of tiny feet. Got a little kitten on Monday. So she's now been in the house for, oh that's nice, I like that there. She's now been in the house for about 3 days. She's settling in and it's just absolutely adorable. I never thought I would want a kitten. Seriously, it's not that I'm not a cat person, I'm just not overly inclined to have pets in the house because of the work and the destruction and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, but my daughter, she's 7 and she is an only child as well, which is kind of probably what guilt tripped me into allowing a pet to happen. I'm just having a little look. I know that's wet, but oh yeah, that could maybe look quite good. Maybe there, up there. Let's see. Oops. Right, I think I'm just going to start sticking things down, otherwise it's just never going to happen. Yeah, so yeah, we are now the proud owners of our tiny little kitten. She is adorable. I adore her already. So yeah, it's all very exciting. So I'm going to be popping this down with gel medium, which probably means I will need to leave this to dry for quite some time. So it probably means I'll be finishing this off tomorrow, which I will have to do, because if I'm working on it tomorrow, that gives me one day to to be ready for when this is actually meant to be ready for. So I am just going to add these leaves, little metal leaves. So I picked these up at the works. So they were like £1 for the bundle, so there must have been 8 in it, because I've given 4 to Dawn and kept 4 for myself. So I'm going to pop those down there. There's not as much to adhere it to on this side, but you know, we'll make it work somehow. Okay, should I stick my heart somewhere as well while we're at it? Oh, I quite like it up there. Stick this down as well, and just stick it down, hope for the best. I've also contaminated my gesso. So yeah, little kitten, got it on Monday night. So she's adorable. She's called Storm. So I've been trying to record. She's back behind the sofa having a snooze, which is good. But I know kittens need a bit of time and play, so I've been trying to record and then go down and play with her and stuff like that. So it's all very exciting, and I have one very excited 7-year-old. So she kept saying to me, "Oh, can I have a pet? Can I have a pet?" And I said eventually I caved in. But what I'd made her do is keep her room tidy for a month, and she had to hoover her room once a week as well. And also she had to pick 3 jobs off a list of jobs to do, and yeah, she had to do all of that for a month, and if she did, she could have a kitten. So she did. She has kept her room so tidy. I think it's been tidier than the rest of the house. So I'm just going to, I know it's not fully stuck, but just because I've got random, I'm going to have to let this gel medium probably dry, probably till tomorrow now, that I am just going to cover these in gesso now, just to tie, so that I can work on it, because I don't really want it silver and brassy like that. I might add a bit of colour with the acrylic paints a bit later. So I quite like doing this. I quite like creating shadow boxes but having elements overlapping the edges. It's like thinking outside the box, as it were, of the box. And making, ooh, that's because that's not got much to grip on, but we can sort that out. We can add a bit more later, but the gel medium should hold it. Actually, maybe I should have used wet glue. Not wet glue, hot glue, but then it pings off, so gel medium is probably still better. Okay. What I also might do is, just because I've not done the most even job, also because I knew I was going to be putting lots of stuff over it, so I wasn't overly bothered about getting it perfect when it was going to get mixed media'd. I was going to have stuff attached to it. I've got a bit of gesso there, so yeah, I'm just going to knock that back a little bit. It was just another layer of interest. Okay, so this is dry now, and what I did was I cut out the peacock from this bit of paper there, put it behind this frame and then stuck that on, just because I knew that I have to finish this project today, so I don't really have time for gel medium to dry. So I know I want these elephants at the bottom, and I'm thinking of putting some of these flowers in. I will be colouring these flowers to match, because they don't really go as they are, but so yeah, I'm thinking I will maybe do something like that. I'm onto my hot glue gun today, because as I said, don't overly have time for gel medium to dry, and I'm out of wet glue, so we will make do with what we have. I'm still learning how to use hot glue. It's a fairly recent purchase. I bought it when I started doing my craft classes, because I knew that I would be restricted to what I can make in an hour and a half class, with drying times to consider. So yeah, that is why I have just recently purchased this. But yeah, we seem to be getting on okay. I've not done myself any major injury so far, so that's all good. Right, now I am once again going to get the old black gesso out and knock these flowers back a little bit so that they match. So let's just get into these. I don't mind if some of it shows, some of the cream shows, because I'll also most likely be putting, because we're allowed to use acrylic paints as well, so I will most likely be colour tinting some of this with the acrylic paints as well, to bring the details out. So I'm just looking for a rough coverage of the flowers, so that they blend in, because that cream is just a little bit too stark against what we have so far. I still have no idea of the direction I'm going quite yet. But yeah, hopefully we'll have a finished product at the end that looks reasonably okay. And I'm hoping that Dawn's getting on okay, because I know that I did, she was like, what on earth is this, Julia, when it arrived? Which I felt a bit guilty about. But then in one of her videos after that, she said she liked being challenged, so I felt slightly better. And also her response was, it makes me feel better about December, so I have no idea what's coming my way in December. We will find out. So, okay, that's me sort of roughly covered those, and I will do the same here. Get in there and add. The reason I've put the flower up here is because there's not a huge amount holding that frame on there, so I'm hoping that if I pop a bit of glue behind there and add it to the rose, we'll just have a bit more stability for that frame. Okay, and some of these bits here have just lost their bit of the gesso's scraped off, so while I've got the gesso out, I'm just going to recover those little elements and do some little repair jobs here and there where it's not fully covered. Okay, right, so that's that. Now while that's drying, I am going to attempt, I think, to put my elephants on. So let's see, how are we going to go about doing this? I think I'm going to try and get some 3D foam. Okay, actually instead of 3D foam, what I have done is I have just chopped up some cardboard packaging, and I am going to attach that and build it up a little bit. So that I've just got more of a surface to stick my elephants to, so hopefully they'll just be a little bit more supported, and that will work. Now the one thing that I have still to get used to with a hot glue gun is dealing with these lovely glue thread things that we have happening. Okay, so I think if I do that, we are about even. And then, let's see, if I put a dollop of hot glue here, and then let's put some around here, trying to work quickly so it doesn't cool down before I get my elephants on, and I'm going to need a new glue stick. Right, let's hope that works. Right, we'll stick that on like so. Okay, right. Now, this kit is full of the most amazing sentiments, so I know I really want to use some of them, but I'm not quite sure how. I think what I'm going to do is chop some of these sentiments out and then have a little fiddle. Okay, so I've chopped a few bits and pieces out. I've got another little peacock, which actually I thought I would slip in there. So I will try and do that now. I'll just grab another glue stick, but can't see where I have just put it, so I will go, oh yeah, just in front of me. Okay, so I just thought I would put another peacock in there, just to sort of pull that all together a little bit. Okay, I also have this strip that I'm thinking I could maybe tuck there. Gradually bringing this all together, and I'm just going to grab my black marker. It wasn't on the list, but I'm sure Dawn knows that I'm going to be sneaking that in at some point because I can't craft without it. Okay. And I will pop that along the top. Okay. like so. It's beginning to look less like a hot mess and more arty. So, oh dear Dawn, I can understand why you were while you were a bit like, oh my, because this is a whole heap of crazy, I have to say. That's quite cute. Let me see. Yeah, I'm liking this one. So again, I am going to put a black line around that, and we'll stick that up there. At least now, like, more of the colour is coming in now, and some of the dodgy kind of cut work and paint work and stuff like that is getting covered up. I think this is a really good thing when you're either crafting or arting, is remembering that no matter who you are, no matter how amazing an artist or crafter you are, your work will always go through an ugly stage. So when you get to that ugly stage, don't stop, because you will get there. You will get there and it will work out. You just keep persevering, and if you don't like something you've stuck down, we can undo that. That's not a problem in the slightest. Okay, I've just realised that obviously there was a hole in the packaging and that glue has gone right through, which was very clever. Okay, so that's how it's looking now. I think what I am going to do, I've got a few bits. I've got a sentiment here. I have cut out some sort of leaf shapes out of the peacock feathers, and yeah, I've cut a few bits and bobs, and I still have all my sort of embellishments to do. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do now is bring a bit of colour in with the acrylic paint, and then we can sort of decorate what's going on inside these shadow boxes a little bit, yeah, and see where we go from there. Okay, so I've pulled out my Pebeo acrylics. I have Rouge Blue, yep, and it's because it's all French, I can't read it. I've got 354, 359 and 358, so I've got a lime green, a turquoise and a pink, because it doesn't really matter what paint you're using, anything will do. Now I am going to go for the pink, and this is where I'm wanting to just bring some of these darker elements to life. So now I'm going to put some pink over these flowers that I have covered in black gesso, and I'm just catching the edges of them, and then adding this splash of colour hopefully should sort of just tie things together a little bit. So yeah, I think I'm going to put pink on the flowers there like that. And actually, the fact that I've gone over that black gesso, it really does kind of, this paper pack almost reminds me of scratch art, the way it looks, and I think this sort of technique is working quite well with the look of those papers. Yeah, so I'm quite liking how that's turning out. Okay. There we go. I'm going to put some parts of it slightly heavier, so we have more colour peeking through like that. Okay, now I am going to try and use, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the turquoise at the bottom of this. Actually, that's going really nice. So these paints actually seem to be slightly iridescent, which is just lovely. And now we're pulling out the texture of these elements, so bringing the green down. So I've done that because it's going to give it that multi-tonal look. I'm going to do the same with these ones here. Let's just pop a bit of turquoise at the bottom, and then I'm going to take a bit of that lime green again and come down from the top of that. Okay, I think adding the pop of colour is really bringing that together quite nicely now. Let's see, I think I'm going to do something similar. I'm just wanting to almost dry brush the edge of the frame, because the black works well because it's highlighting the peacock, but I think maybe if we just sort of dry brush some colours around the edge, then that will sort of highlight the frame a little bit more. Still a little bit delicate and wobbly, but it's going okay. I hadn't actually realised how pearlised these paints look. I don't know whether they normally do or whether it's just the fact it's against the black, it's given it more of a sheen. Okay, I like that. Now, do we... decisions. I'm thinking that we should possibly... I think what I'm going to do is do the same with this heart and just come round. Actually, I'm going to just paint the heart out, because I've got another one that I have not put any gesso on. And so if I paint that directly, we should get sort of two different tones anyway. So I'll paint this one directly with the pink. Like so. And then stick that on. And we'll pop that there like that. Okay, I like it. It's getting there. I think we're getting there. Right, I'm going to stick with the blues, I think, and let's just do that sort of same technique around the edges of the shadow box. And then we can kind of... I'll just emphasise the different sections of the project. Do you know, I was quite excited about creating this project because it's ages since I've done something like this, and I actually quite like working in box lids. It's a sort of technique that I've done before. I don't think I've actually done it on my channel before, which is interesting, but when I created samples for TV and things, I used to quite often like to do it. And as I said, for me it's just that it's cheaper than going out and buying these sort of pre-made shadow boxes, and I'm not one of these people that's good with measurements and being able to sort of put together one of my own. So box lids sort of works for me. So I do tend to sort of, you know, if I get given a box of chocolates or a box of toiletries, or look at that, that's so pearlised. I can't believe how pearlised that looks. I didn't realise these paints were so pearlised, but yeah, I'm pleased with that. So yeah, it's a project that it's a technique that I like doing, but I haven't done in ages, so I was really looking forward to it. But I have to say, as I was putting this together, I was just thinking, oh my goodness, Julia, that looks a hot mess. And I was also thinking, poor Dawn, what have I inflicted upon her? Well, I'm sure she's rocked it. She's probably done a well better job than I have. So I can't wait to see what she's done. I'm trying to sort of move that about so we're not going to get... But I have to say, now that I'm beginning to bring in the colour, and it's sort of tying the black elements together with the brightness of the papers, I am beginning to love it a whole lot more. I'm actually, because I put green on there, I'm going to put a bit of blue around there as well. Let's make it two-tonal. Yeah, I'm beginning to like this an awful lot more, which is awesome. Right, now I am also going to need some sort of detail back here, so I will have to see what we have. Actually, I'm just going to paint that all out blue for the minute, because we have a bit of dodgy paperwork going on there, so I will need to do something about that. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do now is have a look at all the other embellishments that I put in the pack, and then we can see how we can lift this as well. And also what I might do is just give those blue sections another coat. Okay, so I've built up this area here again with some scrap card, and I have cut out these little elephants, and I didn't think that through, so what I'm going to do is, oops, let's put a bit of, maybe put that there first, because we were seeing the cardboard, but we can do something like that now. So that still works. Okay. Okie dokie. Right, now I still have these bits and pieces of embellishments. So we've got some buttons, and as I said, I've created little leaves out of some of the papers. So let's see, what have we got? And I'm just going to look at dotting a few of these elements around the project, and yeah, we'll see how we get on. So I'm just going to have a little faff about and see what is going to work for us. Okay. Thinking of sort of tucking some of these these bead things under the various flowers and things. Got there. Button. Oh, quite like that. Decisions. Okay. What do we think? Do you think that's looking alright? I don't know. Okay, I'm thinking we are on the home street. I have stuck this blue one down, but I'm going to peel it off just to show that we can change our minds, she says. Because, trying to do it without destroying everything, there we go. Because this bit of paper there is cut unevenly, and I can see it when I'm looking at it. So I have just got a strip of peacock feather paper, but in a contrasting colour, and I'm going to slide that down in there like so, and then I'm going to reattach this bead, and hopefully I will be a little bit happier with that, apart from the fact that my hot glue gun has run out and the rest of my glue is downstairs. And we'll work with Nuvo drops. I'm using it as glue, so I'm not counting it as an extra. It's because I've run out of wet glue. I may have said this already, so I'm making do with what I have. Okay, so I'm going to slide that back in there, up like so. Oops. Right, we will stick that down. So, I think I am pretty much there. I just want to, these beads have got sort of little gold element in them. So what I was thinking I would do is I have got some gold acrylic paint, and I am just going to dry brush the edges of some of the elements and just tie in that gold. So I'm going to pop it onto some of my flowers, because again it's just going to add a little bit of tonal value, because we only had the one colour go on there, so we've not got that sort of mixed look that we managed to get on the leaves. And I'm just going to edge the leaves as well, and I think we'll just edge these. I'm just going to go around and edge various elements of it. Why not do the leaves as well? Hey ho. And I think we'll maybe just bring everything together. So this is me dry brushing. I'm not kind of trying to hide what I've done before. I'm just trying to sort of pull it all together. And I have to say, these beads and embellishments that I have got down, they're pretty, they're the right colours, but they're just a bit too stark for me. Oops. That's where the dry brushing went a bit. Never mind. Wasn't wanting it quite as heavy as that. We'll pop a bit of gold around the frame as well. It's already got a couple of colours around it, but let's just really emphasise it by putting a third one on as well. So I'm just going to go around the edges. Same with the hearts, they're just looking a bit flat in comparison to everything else because they've just got the one colour element on them. So if we just add a little bit of that gold. Together, and then of course I am now going to also just water that down slightly, and we will do some splashes. Just again wanting to knock some of these beads back because they look alright, but I would prefer it to be a bit more. I'll just do a bit of dry brushing of the gold in there as well. This is sort of the similar technique that I normally do with gesso at the end, but on this occasion we're doing it with gold. I've gone a bit heavy handed there, but I'll pick that up in a second with a cloth. Okay. Okie dokie, so I am now going to just, as I said, water that down a little bit. Oops, unfortunately my water's a bit mucky, never mind. It'll be a antique gold instead. So let's get some splatters going, and then I will add the final sentiment to just pull it all together. Oh, I love a bit of splatter. It's amazing how a bit of splatter just ties everything together. If you're kind of thinking, I'm almost there but it's not quite done, it's amazing. A bit of splatter, because it goes over the whole project, it can just sort of tie everything together really well. So let's get that on. Right, I am going to be tidying my desk and be back in 2 seconds. Okay, I honestly didn't know how this was going to work. There was a few stages I was like, oh, what have I done? But I'm actually liking the direction it's gone. I'm just wanting to tie it all together with a little bit of text. So I've got this sentiment here: a sequence of endless possibilities strung together in a uniquely beautiful kaleidoscope of colour. And I like that, even though the colour is the American spelling. So I am going to pop that across there like so, because I think it'll just tie all these elements together. I'll draw the eye across. It's difficult to create a huge banner shape there because I don't have a lot of room without chopping into the words, but I'll do it a little bit. And again, I'm just going to edge that, because I do think it makes a difference, even though we are on black paper. It's because the edges of it are still white, so it does give it a more finished look if you just pop that bit of black on. So I want it to overlap the photo frame a little bit and then to go off. So I am going to again use my Nuvo Drops as glue. Oops. And then we'll pop a bit across here. And let's just stick that down like so. Okay. And then I am going to again edge this a little bit and pop this one down here. Yep, this side. Oops. It's funny, I zoom in to what I think is the perfect thing, and then as soon as I start recording it seems to crop it a little bit, so I'll just zoom out a tiny bit more and show you it all finished. Okay, so that is this month's project for Dawn and Julia Create finished. So I hope that you like it. It has been a bit of a challenge, so I'm hoping that our poor Dawn got on okay and wasn't too frustrated with the random bits and pieces that I'd given her. Please do pop on over and check to see what Dawn has done. I know that I will be doing that bang on 4 o'clock, and we'll be watching what she has created. And don't forget to join us again next month. It's the second Friday of every month at 4 o'clock. If you have enjoyed it here, please do consider liking and subscribing, and I will be back again very soon. Okay then, take care and goodbye.